So we are now moving to benefits terminologies, right? So the first thing is a program. So the program is the topmost level in benefits, right? So it's a program is nothing but just a collection of the benefits offering which an employer gives to an employee. So let's say in India, you might have India Employee Benefits. So that is the program. So under India Employee Benefits, you get medical insurance, life insurance, meal vouchers, and you also get your PF contribution, employer contribution, right? So this is your India Employee Benefits. Then you have, let's say, UK Employee Benefits, in which the employer offers, again, medical insurance, dental insurance, life, and you also have additional voluntary coverage. You have cycle to work, you have a meal vouchers again, and you have other programs. So this is UK Employee Benefits, right? So this is the second program. So program is nothing but a group of similar benefit offerings linked together.
All right.
And right. So
Dean, one quick question. Let's say we're talking about a multinational, okay? It operates in India and in the US. So we're going to have two different programs.
Benefit programs. Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Because benefit. Yeah. So benefit program is specific to either normally it can be global also, but normally the rates, coverage, everything is defined to a common currency. So normally you don't want Indian people to be paying in US dollars or managing their benefits in US dollars and all. So plus the plans are going to be, it's going to be quite complex for you when you administer global benefits on a single program. So normally it is advised to have different benefit programs for each country.
All right. And at what enterprise structure does the, when we talk about benefits, is it at a legal entity level, or what kind of level do we configure?
Okay. So sure. A program can be global, which is available to all legal entities, or if you choose to define a program as not a global, then you can define it at a legal entity level. So it can be multiple legal. Okay. So if a company has 3-4 entities in India, but they have a common benefits offering, you can add all 4 legal entities to that particular program. So anyone in India of those 4 entities will have that India benefits program, whereas a person in US will not get access to that program.
All right. So typically when you define your program, you attach a legal entity to it. Is that what happens, or is it on a later stage?
No, you define it upfront. So normally, see, in benefits, whatever is set up, right, at the base configuration which you're doing, we'll cover a bit more in detail. There's something called program type. You define it as a core program, or you define it as a flex credit program and all. So, or you define it as whether it's a global or a legal entity specific. So these things, this base setup is quite critical, because once an employee goes and enrolls in any of the offerings in the program, these things cannot be changed. So you will have to back out all of those enrollments before you can, and completely clear it off before you can come and make the change. Yeah, so these things are taken upfront, these decisions. So that is a key part of your benefits program design. So that is the program. So the next thing to program is something called plan type. So plan type is, so ideally plan type does not offer anything to the employee. It is more from the administrator perspective. So you group similar plans, right? So you say you have a plan type called medical, in which let's say a company is offering 3 different vendors for your medical plans. So all 3 plans will be listed under your medical plan type, and the employee goes and chooses it. And if all rules particular to all the medical plans are the same, so you have to define the rules only at the plan type level. You don't have to define it individually for each plan level, right? So from administration perspective, it makes things a bit simpler, but you cannot create plan without a plan type. Plan type is always mandatory. So we have to create a plan type to group similar plans together. It's for ease of administration, and from self-service perspective, what happens is you can, let me show you, there is something called green stop in self-service. It makes it easier for the employee to understand, okay, what page they are on, what plan they are choosing, right? So the plan type makes it much easier for the employee. So to give an example, what I'll do is, anyways, I think we have a small demo self-service. So I will just start the demo and then we can come back to these terminologies. It will help you understand a bit better. Okay, you have too many icons here. So normally an employee will not have that many icons. The main icon which an employee will have is about me, and a manager will have this my team. Okay, so here, because I have an administrator access, I have too many icons there. So okay, so what I've done is I'm a benefits administrator. So what it entitles me is, gives me an opportunity to log in as another person and then show you from their perspective how self-service looks like. So it's normally an admin who is configuring all this offering needs to know how it looks from an employee perspective. So effectively, that's what I'm going to do. So I have logged in my account, but I'm going to go and show you the self-service enrollment of a different employee. So this is your benefits self-service page. So when someone is clicking on benefits, this is the landing page where they will reach, they will land. So you can have an image to just make this self-service page a bit more user-friendly or a bit jazzy. So you have something here called work representative, right? So this is most present in most of your HR pages. So this is what it gives you. It says your HR representative is this person, your benefits representative is this person. So in this case, we have apps division training representative, who is Mahmood Fahim. So you can click on this information button to get his details and all. So let's say when someone is enrolling the benefit, they have some queries and they want to reach out to some benefits representatives, right? So you can have the details listed here. So now I'm in benefits self-service. I want to change my elections, right? So we will come back to this page. I'm just directly going to the enrollment. Okay. So these are two programs which is offered. Okay. The first one is A2S UK Employee Benefits, which is your regular benefits, and the second one is A2S UK Additional Benefits. So these are two different programs, right?
Yeah.
So it says in the top, select a program or a plan, because a plan can be offered separately without a program, but with very rare cases. So normally what you see listed here are programs. Okay. So program, like I said, is a group of benefits. Yeah, benefit offerings. So let me go to A2F UK benefits. Right. So this is another part of the self-service thing. So you have an authorization page which you can enable. We will see a bit about it in detail. So I get an authorization, then I say accept it. So by accepting, I digitally sign the authorization page. Right. Okay. So now you're on the top, you see, right? Medical insurance, dental insurance, company paid, optional insurance, designations. So these are nothing but train stops. So you start from one point, go to the other point, and you reach the final train stop, and then you submit your enrollment. Correct? So what we normally do is every train stop is linked to plan types. So you can have one plan type or more than one plan type in a train stop. So how I've configured this is your first train stop is your medical train stop is linked to your medical plan type. So all plans which are under medical plan type will be listed in this train stops. So you see these plans, right? Right. So then you have dental train stop in which dental plans are listed. So then the next dental plan type is linked to this dental train stop. So you have all dental plans which are linked to the dental plan type coming here. So the third train stop is called company paid. Okay, so I have named this train stop called company paid because this is your group term life insurance, right?
All right.
So the plan type, which is mandatory life, is linked to this train stop. So in group term life insurance, like I said, you don't have to make a contribution. It's only employer cost. So if you see, there is no employee cost available here, right?
Yes. Yes.
So then we have optional insurance, train stop, in which all your optional benefit plan types are listed. So any additional coverage for life for yourself, your dependents, so these things can be there. So I hope you got an idea about train stops now. Plan types now, right? So plan type is nothing but a grouping of similar plans, and it is mandatory. Yeah.
Sorry, I had one question here. Now, if you see for all these plans, there is an employee cost, right? And
Right.
I'm assuming there will also be an employer cost for all of these.
Right. So we will come back to that in detail. Or if you have any specific question, you can ask me, but I will answer it when we come to the self-service screen detail.
Okay, maybe we could, pick this up once we come there.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just keep your question. Then we will come back in detail. So currently we'll look at the structure, and then once you are there, when we're looking at the self-service in detail, I will answer those questions. Right?
Yeah. All right. Thanks.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. Right. So we saw what plan types are, right? So then we have the actual plans themselves. So plans are the actual benefit offering. So when it comes to your vendor, right? So a vendor who's offering medical insurance, or a vendor who's offering life insurance. So from India perspective, primarily you have when we take vendors, you have LIC, who is a vendor who offers life insurance. Then you have AXA, you have ICICI Lombard, right? So these are all vendors who offer benefit offerings, right? So from the vendor perspective, a plan is what matters because they are essentially offering you a plan. Program plan types are all from your system administrative perspective, correct? You define the structure with program plan types and all, but plan is essentially what a vendor offers. So that is the actual of benefit offering, which defines what type of benefit offering it is, whether it's a medical, dental, life insurance, or any other thing. Who is the provider? What are the costs which is associated with that? How much the employee needs to pay? How much the employer is contributing? And you also have coverage amounts, right? Coverage amount, we will see in detail what that is about. So the plan is essentially the actual offering of the benefit. Then you have options. So options is nothing but, see, let's say you have a medical plan, right? So in medical plan, I can choose to cover only myself. So if I am single, unmarried, and I don't have any dependents, so I will cover only myself. So let's say when you're choosing a medical plan, normally the more people you cover, the more you have to pay. So I don't want to cover any dependents. I am covering only myself. So I will choose the employee only option of medical plan, right? So which entitles only one person to be covered. Then you have employee plus spouse. So I can cover my spouse also. So I'm just covering two people. So I'll pay some additional cost for covering two people. And then you will have, let's say, employee plus family, right? So employee plus family, meaning I'm covering my spouse and children. And when it comes to children, the vendor decides how many children can be covered. So some will say that I will cover only 2 children. Some will say I'll cover 3 children. And there are countries which in the Middle East which give you unlimited children to be covered. So
all right. So options is basically the kind of coverage that you want when you're taking up your policy.
Right. Yeah. Correct. So you decide which plan you want to choose, and then you say the level of coverage I want in that plan. So going back to the self-service screen, so if you see here, so there are two vendors who are offering medical plan. One is Better Health and the other one is Alexa, right? So if you see on the left side, you have filter by plan, correct? So I have two plans here, medical insurance Alexa and Better Health medical insurance, right? And if you see below that, you have something called filter by option, right? So you have employee only, employee plus spouse and family, right? So effectively, the employee is now given a chance. Okay, I want to choose Alexa, which is giving me 25,000 coverage, or I can choose Better Health, which is giving me 40,000 coverage. So this is for a UK employee, so all cost is in GBP. So you see in the top right? So everything is in GBP here, right? So these are the options which are given to the, so you have two plan options and each of the plans have three options. So in Alexa you have employee only, employee plus spouse and employee plus family. And you also see that the cost is going to be different for each of those plans, right? So these are the plans and these are the options, right? So is this clear so far? Your benefits, this is the most basic and the most critical terminologies in benefits. Right. So we saw what program, plan type, plan and option is about, right? So then you also have something which is specific to configuration of the administrators. It's called plan type in program, right? So when I say plan type in program, so you have plan type which is separate, and then when you're creating a program, you define what are the plan types and plans associated with the program, right? So then when I say plan type in program, so it is very specific of to that plan type usage within that program. So let's say in this case, the example which I've given, medical plan type within A2F UK employee benefits program. So anything is configured at the plan type in program level is very specific to that plan type only within the program. Okay. Yeah. So what I was saying is, so we have this Better Health medical plan, and we saw that it was part of the UK employee benefits program, right? And in the UK employee benefits program, I have a rule saying that, let's say, Better Health plan is only available for someone in manager level and above, right? So then what happens is that specific configuration which I have mentioned is specific to that plan only within that program. I can use the same Better Health medical plan in some other program, and in that program I can have different rules altogether, right? So that is your plan in program level, right? So if I'm configuring something at the plan level itself, so if I'm configuring something at Better Health medical plan level, so that will be applicable. Let's say Better Health plan has three options, which is employee only, employee plus spouse, and employee plus family, right? So this configuration is at the plan level, which means whichever program this plan is being used, in all those programs, I will have the same configuration because it is at the plan level. But something that is plan in program level is very specific to that plan only within the scope of that program. And then we have option in plan level, which is nothing but employee only is an option, employee plus spouse is an option. And you're saying that employee only option will have, employee plus spouse option in Better Health can only cover employee plus spouse, whereas in Alexa, employee plus spouse can cover your spouse or domestic partner, correct? So you can make that as option in plan level, which means it's specific to that usage of that option within a particular plan. And yeah, so like I mentioned, the plan can be offered without being a part of the program. Normally you will do that, and like let's say you want a salary sacrifice type of program to be set. You want to contribute to some charity, right? So some of these big organizations also have tie-up with an NGO, or they have their own NGOs, and they say that employees can choose to contribute to the education of someone or like that. So this is something called salary sacrifice. Right. Okay. So for that, you don't need a program as such. You just need a standalone plan, and I can go and then say that I want to contribute 1,000 rupees per month to that particular NGO. So automatically, once you enroll that, it will be deducted every month from your salary, and at any moment in time, you can go and opt out of that. So you don't need a program as such. It's just a standalone plan offering. So these are the, this is all the terminologies which are linked to your core structure, which is your program, plan type, plan and option.